Vital, now in a brand new pack.
Welcome back. Now, the Olympics, not only is it a great narrative for sport, but also the human story, and we've seen some incredibly inspirational stories come out of it.
And we have made a list of the top 10 most inspirational and most interesting Olympic athletes. We're going to take a look at that right now.
The new improved Parmalat Fabulite fat-free yogurt.
Well, it's time for the Parmalat top 10 most unlikely Olympic athletes. And in the number 10 spot, Princess Anne. She was the only female competitor not to have to submit to a sex test at the 1976 Summer Olympics. And she was competing as a member of the UK equestrian team. And it seems that equestrian success seems to run in the family, as Princess Anne's daughter, Zara Phillips, is also competing in the equestrian event at the London 2012. So bravo, ladies.
I wonder if she's had to submit to a sex test. Pays to be royalty. The number 9, Ala Hikmat, Iraq's lone female athlete, headed to Athens in 2004 for the 100-meter and 200-meter sprint races. Now, the world was touched by the determination and courage she showed, despite horrific conditions at home where, of course, at the time, war was raging on. With only the limited government sponsorship of, get this, $68 a month to cover her training and gear, Hikmat could not afford new shoes when her own ones were well past their sell-by date. Hikmat was considered a hero just for getting to the games. What a story.
Unbelievable. Eddie Egan, American Eddie Egan, is the only person to have won gold medals in both the summer and winter games. He was a boxing champion in 1920 at the games and won a gold at the 1932 Lake Placid Games in the team bobsled event. Unbelievable.
Sounds a little Jamaican. At number 7, Oscar Swan. Now, Oscar Gomez Swan was a Swedish shooter who competed at 3 Olympic Games and won several medals along that course. At the age of 72, he was the oldest sportsman to compete in the 1920 Summer Olympics. In fact, he was the oldest athlete ever to compete in the Olympics. Now, his best results were in the team competitions, a 4th place in the single shot running deer event and a 2nd place in the double shot running deer contest. I'm sure they didn't use real deers. With the silver medal, he is also the oldest medalist of all time, and that's not counting the art competitions.
Number 6, our very own Natalie du Toit, showing immense talent as an able-bodied swimmer in her early teens. Natalie du Toit was a victim of a horrific scooter accident which resulted in the loss of her left leg. In spite of the setback, Natalie showed immense determination to continue her swimming career, not just as a Paralympic athlete, but official Olympics as well. In 2008, she qualified for the women's 10-kilometer freestyle event, finishing 16th in the world, despite missing one of her legs. And in all her amazing ups and downs, and despite the immense challenges she faced, she lives by the following philosophy: the tragedy of life does not lie in not reaching your goals. The tragedy of life lies in not having goals to reach for. And I think that's absolutely incredible.
And she is our golden girl for sure. Then at number 5, Eddie the Eagle Edwards. This is one of my favorite stories. A good downhill skier. Eddie narrowly missed out on the Great Britain team for that event for the 1984 Games. Now, to improve his chances to qualify in 88, he decided to switch to ski jumping, an event where skiers go down a takeoff ramp, pretty spectacular. They then jump to attempt to land as far as possible down the hill, and they cover massive distances. Now, there were no other British competitors competing for Olympic places in this discipline, but Eddie was handicapped by his weight. At about 82 kilograms, he was more than 9 kilograms heavier than the next heaviest competitor, and by his lack of financial support for training, he was totally self-funded. Now, another problem was that he was very far-sighted, requiring him to wear his glasses at all times, even though when skiing, they fogged up to such an extent that he couldn't see at all. And he actually instituted a new rule at the Olympic Games where they now have to qualify via a certain amount of world-class events before that, because he was just so terrible. Eddie the Eagle, we remember you, sir.
Robert Terrell Mariam is an Ethiopian cross-country skier who's competed at 2 winter games. He earned his best finish at 83rd place in the 15-kilometer event at Turin in 2006. Not bad for a one-man team at the winter games. And in his native Addis Ababa, where there is no snow, he pulls on his shorts, glasses and special roller skis before setting off a downhill. I think that's incredible.
Impossible. impossible is nothing. At number 3, Eric, the eel Musambani. Now, the Equatorial Guinea swimmer had never dipped a toe in an Olympic-sized pool before Sydney 2000, but left a hero despite a hapless performance. Now, such heart and courage for this man who has learned to swim only 8 months before the 2000 Games blows the mind. He had used a 20-meter hotel pool to train in. He qualified for the Games via a wildcard draw designed to encourage developing countries without expensive training facilities to participate. While winner Peter van Hogenband set a world record at 47.84 seconds to win the gold medal, Musambani splashed his way to the finish to the cheers of a crowd in slightly more than twice that time, 1 minute 52.72.
The big one, Jamaican bobsled team, inspiration behind the Cool Runnings in 1993 film. These chilled-out Jamaicans hold a special place in our heart for being the brave underdogs, and it was incredibly funny in the film. Now, just imagine what it must have been like for these guys. Fish out of water using a borrowed sled and arriving in the freezing cold Games. Unfortunately, their rusty old sled caused them to crash on the final run, so they never officially finished, but they captured the world's attention for their vast improvement over the competition and their incredible courage.
Unbelievable, and that's got to be one of your favorite all-time movie scenes where they carry the sled over the finish line. Why? Because it really happened. Then at number 1, could there be any other? Oscar Pistorius takes on number 1 spot, and he is a local boykie true to form. Oscar Pistorius, known affectionately as the Blade Runner and the fastest man on no legs, Oscar Pistorius has become a worldwide sensation, and justifiably so, using his prosthetic legs to propel him to qualification for the 4x400 meter relay at the 2012 London Games. Born without fibula in each of his legs at birth, a medical decision was made to amputate each leg below the knee for health reasons. Now, blessed with an amazing attitude towards life and limits, Oscar played sport throughout his school career and was, of course, backed by his incredible family, concentrating primarily on rugby and water polo. Then damage to his knee in a sports-related accident led to Oscar's rehab on the athletics track, where it all began for him. The rest is history. 9 years after, Oscar is living proof that you can achieve your dreams. He, of course, will be competing in the 2012 London Olympics, and he has every single South African support, and I think a lot of people around the world.
Now, we wish him the best of luck. We'll be cheering him all the way. Those are the 10 most unlikely Olympic feel-good stories.
Awesome
but right
stuff.
now, our very own Express Olympics. Guys, take it away.
The new improved Parmalat Fabulite fat-free yogurt.